Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Micah hanging out here inside the Seacrest studio, and you know what? It is super cool. Is I have my buddy Maya here, but we also have another friend with Maya. Now, Maya, who do we have on Zoom today?
Anthony Ramos.
Anthony Ramos! Awesome! Welcome, man.
What's up? What's up?
Perfect. All right. Well, Maya, take it away.
Okay, so first, I just want to tell you that I'm so excited to be talking to you right now. And I'm such a fan of yours, and my whole family is. And then I also wanted to tell you, one of my teachers, his whole family is a fan of yours, because I was telling him I was interviewing you today.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope. Which teacher? What's your teacher's name?
Mr. Bailey.
Mr. Bailey. Shout out to Mr. Bailey.
I'll tell him you said that.
Dope.
So who or what inspired you to start acting?
I had a teacher in high school. Speaking of teachers, I had a teacher named Sarah Steinwise, Miss Steinwise, and who's now still a really good friend of mine. And she was directing the shows in school when I was in high school. And even when I was a kid, I was putting on like little skits for the family. We'd do Thanksgiving or Christmas or whatever, and we'd like just come up with a concept or scenario. And my cousins and I would just we would just like kind of go into a room for like an hour and then come back out with costumes and a concept and improv a whole 15-minute show for the family every year until I think everybody got too cool to do it, around 12 or 13 years old anymore. But then I got to high school and then I auditioned for what I thought was a talent show. And it ended up being a musical. It was actually a musical. And I didn't really understand what I was getting myself into. First, I didn't want to do it because I didn't particularly watch musicals at all. But this teacher, she was very adamant about me like joining and doing it. So I did it, and I got on stage, and that was like one of the first times I had ever felt anything that felt it was the first time I experienced anything that felt incredible to me, right? Like as it did playing baseball. Baseball was my thing, but I never thought I could find anything that I would love just as much as that, let alone more. And then it was like, boom, I got on stage wearing like this cardboard crown playing Zeus. And I was wearing like this sheet for a robe. And I was, singing Baby It's You I Love, which was like a spin-off of Baby It's Cold Outside. And I was just on stage and I was like, man, this feels different. So I think that was like the moment that sparked it for me.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So you've been in like so many theater productions, and you played both John Lawrence and Philip Hamilton in Hamilton, and I'm obsessed with this soundtrack, and I love watching it on Disney Plus. What did being a part of such a groundbreaking and historic musical mean to you?
It meant a lot. I mean, it means a lot to be a part of something that has changed the way we see theater, the way I think we'll do theater from now on. I don't know if it'll ever be the same after Hamilton, and I'm just like excited. I'm honored, more than anything, really, to be a part of something that feels like that it was groundbreaking. It feels like something that was new, something that started a new wave, if you will. And, it also, being a part of a show like that, I never, there weren't many roles for me on Broadway. There just weren't. And that show and Lynn and, that whole team, Tommy and Andy Blankenbuehler, the choreographer, and Alex Lackamore, the music director, supervisor, those guys gave me a chance to to play a part in my own vernacular, and I'm spitting it, I'm rapping and I'm singing, and I'm like, the music sounds like music I grew up with, and it was like one of those things, right, where it's like when life connects you, right? It's like when all you feel like the dots align in your life, right? Like serendipity, I guess, right? Like serendipitous, like. And, I even the way I auditioned and got the job, like I had no agent. I didn't have, I walked into a casting office. They were doing an open call for a different show. It wasn't even Hamilton. It was another show. I think it was called A Piece of My Heart. It was off Broadway. And I walked up in there and I did my open call. And then I get an email and it was like, you ain't right for this other thing, but we got this thing called Hamilton's Mixtape and we want to call you in for that. And 4 auditions later, boom, I get the job, and it just felt like it was this thing that just felt like it was meant to be, and I'm just grateful that it took off the way it did, and it's like it's been such a blessing. That show has been such a blessing in my life, and it seems that it's been this like gift to the world as well. So it means everything to be a part of that. It's a huge part of my life.
Oh, cool. So what got you interested in music?
So I've loved music since I was a kid. I used to have a group called the Halsey Trio. It was me and 2 other guys, Lennox and Khalif, in junior high school. And we would sing Temptation songs at our assemblies, at the school assemblies. So we would sing like one song every assembly. And it was, I get to high school and then I auditioned for what that musical, I was telling you about. I auditioned, I got in, and I started doing musicals. But then I get to college and I was like, yo, man, I really want to like write songs. I really want to I really want to practice. I want to see what that's about. I want to dig in. I want to explore. I want to, see what that could potentially turn into, right? If I work hard at that, if I go hard and I just like chase that dream. And I used to just jam out with, 2 of my buddies, my boy Tom Lieb and Joel Castillo, who actually is a co-writer on Stop. We've been friends for Stop, my first single. Joel, AKA Castle, as he goes by, Castle is his artist and writer name. But we've been friends for, I would say, 10 years now. And it's incredible to have this, 10 years later, he's one of the co-writers on my, my first single off of this next, body of work off of the second album. Right. And I love music. I always wanted to do music. I didn't really know how to do it because I didn't have money for a guitar. I saved up money. I bought my first guitar for $175 in some small instrument shop, music shop in Boise, Idaho, when I was on tour with Damn Yankees, the musical. And we stopped at Boise, Idaho, and I just walked up in there, and I didn't have the 175. It was expensive, and I was like, man, I don't know if I can afford that. I left, and then something was just like, yo, just buy that. And I just went right back. I went back there in 30 minutes, and I bought that guitar. I was broke, but I was happy. And I went ahead and I started teaching myself how to play, and then, I get to college and started writing songs, and then I get to Hamilton, and then I meet my boy Will Wells. I was writing with a friend of mine named Robert Manganero in his living room. He even set up a studio in his living room. So we were like recording songs. We were writing. I would come after Hamilton. I would come late to his house, like 11 p.m. And I'd be writing with him till like 2 a.m. And he was like the dean of education for AMDA, the college that I went to, the musical theater school. But we were just jamming. We became friends after I graduated. And I sang backup for him once, and we started writing songs together. And then I met Will doing Hamilton, Will Wells, who was my executive producer and one of my best friends. And Will basically, like, after the opening night off Broadway at the Public Theater for Hamilton, Will comes up to me and he goes, hey, man, he was like, everybody on that team, everyone on that stage is really talented. But he's like, bro, like, you special. And I was like, Wow, thanks, bro. Like, I appreciate that. Thank you. And he said, "You ever wanted to make a record? You ever made music?" And I was like, "Nah, he was like, "Is that something you want to do?" I was like, "Yeah, actually, I've been, writing songs and stuff." He's like, "Yo, we should talk." And he and I have been working together for 4 years now, and we really started writing heavily together. I went to LA for a few months and I was writing out there. I was coming back to New York, writing. I'm talking to you from my studio now. It's incredible to even have a studio now in a space that I can just like come and make music whenever I want. But we've come a long way, and there's still so much for us to do, and so far for us to go. But I'm just, I'm grateful that, I met him. We started making music, put out an EP. Then I put out, and then I got signed by Republic Records, and we put out the first album. And and Will's, that's my guy, right hand man. So that's kind of how I got into music.
Oh, cool. Okay, so who do you consider to be a real life superhero and why?
Wow. I think my mom's a superhero. She raised 3 kids by herself. I don't know how she did that, and she's I think one of the most incredible human beings I've ever met. So I would have to say my mom.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Yeah. My mom and my sister. Like, I have no idea what I would do without them.
Right.
So. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for calling in. I'm still kind of like, I just can't really believe this is happening right now.
It's all good. Thanks for having me. I love your hat too. That's fire.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's super fire.
Yeah. Oh, I meant to tell you, I have a Broadway bracelet with Hamilton on it. So, because I have the soundtrack on repeat like all the time. So.
Yeah, let's go. Awesome, yo.
Yeah,
awesome.
So, thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me, Maya. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Micah, thank you so much, man.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Anthony. Well, we'll talk to you later.
All right. Y'all take care.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Later.